Hey, what's
And
oh,
oh, sorry. And welcome back, everyone. My name is Tyler, and we just had that really great tanker race, and carrying on now, we are going to have Dan Spence play Devil May Cry. Take it away.
yo, what's up, people?
Cry. Take it away.
Yo, what's up, people? My name's DanSpence94. This is Devil May Cry 1. We're going to be doing the Dante Must Die all collectibles category using the Super Dante costume. If you've ever played this game, you know that Dante Must Die is insane when it comes to difficulty. With me on the comms, I've got my good boy Yang.
Hello, nice to meet y'all.
Yang's going to be helping me out with a lot of like the boss fights and things like that, where I'm going to have to focus quite a bit because the way we loop some of these bosses to make sure that we can actually fight them is a little bit tricky in areas. But without further ado, just to explain the run a little bit more, all collectibles means we have to collect every single gun, every single blue orb fragment, and complete every single secret mission. Now, of course, obviously in Dante Must Die mode, some of those get a little bit more tricky. Dante Must Die mode literally is a 1 or 2 hit kill. So we have to be very careful at the start. But if we're already in the back, if I give a countdown of... I'll count down from 5 and then we'll jump straight into it. So we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, welcome to Devil May Cry 1, what was originally intended to be Resident Evil 4, would you not know? You'll see that in a couple of the areas a bit later on. But first things first, because marathon look, I'm going to grab an extra yellow orb here. Yellow orbs basically mean we can carry on if we accidentally die. And there's also a blue orb fragment up on the top here. Now, when we get in blue orb fragments... when we get blue orb fragments, we get... If we get 4 blue orb fragments, that gives us an extra blue orb, which increases our health bar. We can also buy purple orbs in the shop with red orbs that we get. There's a lot of orbs going on that you can probably tell. Purple orbs give us extra devil trigger, but we won't need them until near the end. Because Super Dante costume, which you get for beating Dante Must Die, gives you unlimited devil trigger. Now, unfortunately, in Dante Must Die mode, devil trigger does not increase our HP. We cannot use it to heal, which makes it that much more tough.
First jump, first try. There you go.
So, what you saw there is a red orb cache. We're going to be grabbing a few of them throughout the run. Basically, red orb is our currency for buying moves, buying items, all that kind of stuff. Now, we don't normally buy any items on DMD because everything costs about 5k just to buy. We're better off buying separate moves and things like that. Now, the biggest change between Dante Must Die and normal or even hard mode is that when we get into fights, such as this one, there's an invisible timer that's going in the background. Sometimes it's going to be visible in what we call a locked room fight. That timer counts down until the enemies will all devil trigger and become very hard to put down. Now, the first locked room fight we come across, we're going to get a 40-second timer, basically to kill everything before that goes down. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but hopefully we'll get it first try. And like I say, they get 4 blue orb fragments in this one. Gets us the blue orb. That gives us a little tiny bit more HP for going in here. So I'm going to shut up and focus. Yang, you can probably talk them through slash cancelling, all that kind of good stuff.
Alright, so this is, no joke, honestly, the hardest part of the run, in my opinion. It's where most runs die. So you position yourself very specifically here to try to slash cancel these. And a slash cancel is when you do the first 2 hits of your combo, and then instead of doing a finisher, you sort of almost move, which cancels you out of your finisher animation, and then you just do another 2 hits over and over and over again. So it was a really good first wave. And now the second wave is where it gets hairy, because it's completely RNG which enemies spawn. And the red ones, in particular, have a lot more health. So you're hoping that you only get like 1 or 2 reds. And Dan got 3, which is really bad. And 1 DT'd, which means 2 of them DT'd. Now we're going to be here for a while. At least he got some damage in on the first one. But
yeah, so that timer that I mentioned before, straight away you can see it already come to work here. So all the enemies are now devil triggered, which means they won't get knocked back if we hit them with our swords or anything like that. So we have to just keep at a distance and turn this into Devil May Cry 2. Sometimes they will lunge at us like that, but hopefully, yeah, there's one down.
At least in DMC2 you can just hold the shoot button. This one you have to just mash. And DT red ones are especially tanky. They are a pain.
I mean, good. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. I was going to say, good thing is they're not attacking us. They're being quite docile. There's one down.
Yeah. See, it's really important to keep them on screen so you can see if they're about to throw their weapons at you.
There we go.
So you did this damageless at least. That's really good.
Yeah, which is surprising considering. And now all we get up top is 5 or 6 reds that we're going to be taking on here.
And the upstairs room is a lot easier. If you need to, you can actually just leave the room and reset the enemies if all of them BT. But that is pretty slow for a speedrun. We try not to. And then normally once you get out of this mission, your hand is just kind of dead for a while after all the mashing.
Yeah, mission 1 in a DMD run, if it goes bad, it can go really bad. We have a different enemy type. A different yet the same enemy type here. Something called the Fetch. We can take them out pretty easily by keeping them in the air and juggling them.
It's very important to not aggro him when you're still fighting the reds.
Now, had I got a few more orbs, I would have gotten a special bonus there with having no damage, but we still move.
Yeah. 514. Okay. And then in this hallway, you're always hoping to get a shadow, because it is quite random in Devil May Cry which enemies you get in which room. And
So
what
the
Dan's
shadow,
doing here,
yeah.
I said what he's trying to do here is bait out that attack just there. It's called the skewer. And when he does that, you can land on top of him and hit him critically, which doubles the orbs that he drops. And kills him instantly. And now we're getting the sword. We'll have Devil Trigger after this.
Yeah, so Alistair is a lightning sword. By going into Devil Trigger with Alistair, we run faster, we hit harder, and we can fly, and there's a couple of other things we're going to get later down the road. Run.
So now we're just going to be in Devil Trigger for the rest of the run. Ooh. And this is a bad room too, because you can either get these enemies, which are rather difficult to take out, or you could have gotten sides, which are really easy. So this is bad luck. Normally the strat is to try to get all 3 of them up here on this little landing with you. Because the secret to opening the door is to kill 3 before the next wave comes on. So you want them all grouped together, but it's not going too well.
Yeah, this is one of the main instances of RNG in this run. There's not that many. This is probably the biggest one. And like you see there, the time has run out, so they all now Devil Trigger.
See, I don't think you've taken damage yet though, so you could still SP. And when we talk about an SB, we're talking about a special bonus, which on top of your normal rank rewards at the end of the mission, gives you just a flat 2,000 to extra orbs. So in terms of economy, it's really useful in the early game.
I knew I was going to get swiped there, right at the death. I'm hoping. No, the door is still not open. This is one of those locked room fights that we were talking about. That can go really bad if that timer runs out.
Yeah. The early game for all DMD runs is just so hard because you have no moves, and like the difficulty scale just really evens out once you get stuff later on. But for now, alright.
What I will do real quick is I'm just going to sort the audio out because I've been told that Yang, you're a little bit quiet, so I'm just going to turn you up.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay, mate. I'm just going to turn you up in Discord. Hopefully that should be sweet. And I'm going to turn my microphone up as well. Hopefully that should be alright. Apologies, guys. Okay, so we try this.
Alright. Do I sound better?
Definitely sound louder.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't turn the game itself down unless I go back out into the main menu. So I just had to turn myself and Yang up instead. So we've got a fight with some more Sin Scissors.
This is pretty for you with DT though.
There we go. So by double jumping off of an enemy, or an enemy step as we call it, you get a critical hit bonus with your Helmbreaker where we fling the sword straight down. The reason I shot them a few times with the shotgun is just basically to stun them and bring them all together like they were. And then we can hit a couple of them all at the same time. I was going for a triple, but I got a double instead, which is completely fine. Now, because I took damage, I didn't get a special bonus, but that's fine. I'm going to buy two moves here, Stinger level 1 and Vortex level 1. Now, because we have unlimited Devil Trigger, we can use moves like Vortex indefinitely. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do things like this, where we can fly across a bridge rather than using a move called Stinger. By deactivating and reactivating DT, it basically drops us straight down, and then we can continue running again. Now, ideally, if we got a special bonus in those 2,000 extra orbs that Yang was talking about, I would have got Vortex level 2, which basically means that we can just indefinitely Vortex by holding down the button. Unfortunately, we have to do Vortex level 1 for now, but they still kind of work out the same kind of speeds.
It's just a lot less janky to, have to control your movement. Like
now,
whenever the camera.
Come up to our first boss fight here as well. Say hello to Phantom. Now Phantom has a critical hit zone as well on the back of his where his tail is there. By hitting it with a Helmbreaker, like so, where we can do immense damage, especially in Devil Trigger.
And in normal difficulty, this is a 4-hit kill when you get him with crits. And Dante must die, I'm not quite sure, it feels like 10 or so proper crits. That's a good one.
And shout out to the Resident Evil camera here, the fixed camera angles. That's exactly what you want in an action game. Especially when you've got a boss that likes to jump around and we have to make sure that we don't get hit.
And he will lay serious damage on you if you do get hit.
There we go. So it wasn't the best fight, it wasn't perfect or anything like that, but was decent nonetheless. And now we're going to get into our first secret mission of the run as well. Secret missions in Devil May Cry 1 are really hard to come by because most of them involve you backtracking to areas that you wouldn't think of going back to. Forget hack and slash games, Devil May Cry is an open world game. So we grab a blue ore fragment from the floating pillar over there. Grab another one over here. Now by going back down underwater where we were before with the skulls, we trigger another secret mission. Now this secret mission is called Critical Hit, and I'll let Yang explain what exactly that means.
Well, you're going to face a single Sin Scissor here, and you have to critically hit it. And to critically hit it, you have to parry its scissors as it's readying to attack you, and then run up and just put one in its face. Which is easier to explain than to do, really. Because he has two different attacks, and the vertical snip is kind of hard to parry properly. And also, sometimes he just doesn't seem... But Dan got it first try. Sometimes he just doesn't seem to get hit, even when everything seems proper.
That secret mission is a bit more of a pain because it's against an enemy that is trapped to run away from you.
Oh, that gets frustrating. When he just refuses to attack, and then you can't parry.
And we go straight back into the room for secret mission number 2, which is Phantom Baby number 1. So anyone who has arachnophobia, this one's for you. We have to kill 100 tiny phantoms from the boss fight that we just did within 40 seconds, I believe it is. So we can use our pistols here to run around. There's 3 different little spawn points.
And it's overall a pretty easy secret mission.
Grabbing that case, there's another blue orb for the 4th fragment. And we bounce.
It is kind of hard to do consistently because it's kind of random how they scatter sometimes. But
in normal difficulty, you can just use a holy water there. I've been testing that theory out personally, and you can run in, use a holy water, and you're out again.
oh my god, it's Phantom. He's back. Okay, never mind. And then...
Now we're going to get into a boss, like a mini boss fight, which is something called a dread side, or a death side. We basically have to double jump either off him or off the scenery and get that critical hit on his head whilst in Devil Trigger. 3 of those will take him out. But after 2 he starts doing a little vortex of his own. We've just got to keep jumping around, avoiding it.
And he is also very good at parrying your attacks, so you have to time them pretty well.
And his scissors, once you do kill him, also fall to the ground. Now if you're not careful, those will hit you and will take your damage. Which of course we don't want to do. And it's time for secret mission 4.
3.
3 even. I'm getting ahead of myself. So
I mean, yeah, it's quick and easy, huh?
yeah, it's exactly the same as secret mission 2, except we're not allowed to use any weapons. We just Devil Trigger and run over 100 Phantom Babies, and there we go. Now what I'm going to do here is probably something you've never seen in a speedrun before. I'm going to save it. And that's because this secret mission coming up, secret mission 4, we have 1 shot to do this. If I fail, we can't do it again.
Yeah, it's a really hard mission too. It's a bit of a nightmare.
We have to fight 3 shadows all at the same time without dying. So here we go.
So the first shadow here is pretty free. You can just run up to it. Okay, never mind. That's very odd.
Yeah, normally he would give us the skewer straight away, but he's not playing nice today.
I actually don't think I've ever seen it not skewer.
Once we go down like so, we're going to let him go red. One's Devil Triggered already, which is great.
Yeah, any enemy can Devil Trigger, but shadows in particular get really nasty when they Devil Trigger. Because they gain a new attack that can just hit you at any time, for any reason. If you get too close, that is. Get him, get him. Ah, so close.
Well, I almost got the double, but unfortunately not. And he's just Devil Triggered as well, so here we go. You'll love to see it. When I say that this game is merciless, I'm not kidding. Well, at least we didn't get V's New Game Plus Shadow from Devil May Cry 5 on this mission. So when we get close to a shadow that's in Devil Trigger, that has that little blade kind of attack, as soon as we get in proximity, it's going to start firing stuff at us, which makes this secret mission all the more dangerous. But we managed to get it. So we grab the blue orb fragment and bounce. And we're going to be coming up to our second boss fight. We've had Phantom, and now we're going to get into a fight with someone called Nello Angelo.
And he shouldn't be too hard either.
Yeah. Most bosses, there is a bit of a loot system that we can get, especially with Nello Angelo. More so in the later fights. So we jump up here. I say we jump up here. There we go. Grab the Death Sentence, the coolest looking sword that we don't actually get to use.
Do you plan for Nightmare 1 to use the Stinger strat?
No, I'm going safe.
Okay.
So we use that to grab the Melancholy Soul and then go out to the boss fight. By doing // cancel, like so, we can get in a certain loop. So 3 in a row, and then we jump away so he does the meteor attack, or he teleports like so, for some reason.
And he actually just skipped a miniature cutscene there to save some seconds, which was well done.
Yeah, so every so often in the fight he kind of like teleports around like this. So by jumping up beforehand, that's why I did the high time before he finished that combo. We can skip that one. We can't skip this one unfortunately because of the where he actually is in terms of the arena. Should be a clean finish. There we go. So by looping Nello Angelo like so, we can minimise as much damage to ourselves and just basically get out of there as soon as we can. I'm going to buy something called Air Hike for this mission. Normally we'd get it later on, but it comes really in handy with this to get out of here really quickly. Same again, we're going to fight 2 shadows this time, rather than 3. But the exactly the same applies. We need to take them out probably around about the same time.
And you really want to do this one damageless.
Yeah, if we do this one damageless and grab some of their orbs, we will get a special bonus. It's probably one of the easier special bonuses to get. But by having Air Hike here, we can basically run around a little bit easier and not have to worry too much about getting hit. It also lets you do a neat trick where we can get up to this section up here a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Jump over here, we're going to grab a quick Orb Cache, I'm going to grab an item called Untouchable. The blue orb fragment over here that you can see, so we air hike over to it. Normally I can grab that before the cutscene plays, but it's not a massive deal if we don't get it. I guess there's another blue orb, more HP, which of course we need in this run. Straight down to the bottom of this area, use the Melancholy Soul, and that's the end of mission 5. Most runs die between missions 1 and 5, I'll tell you that for nothing.
And then there's Secret Mission 5, which is... yeah.
Which is even worse, believe it or not.
Yeah. We don't talk about Secret Mission 5.
Alright, so I bought Vortex to it, now you can see how much faster it already is with movement. I just hold the button down and we can just basically fly indefinitely.
That's gonna come into play like really importantly in the speedrun later. Secret Mission 21. Or, sorry, Secret Mission 12.
Yeah.
And Mission 21.
There is a trick that we do twice in this run, near the end of the run, called the Cosmo Climb. That was found by DE Cosmic, but we'll get into that further down the line when we get there. You can see we just can basically just blitz through corridors like this and not have to worry too much about what's in the way. Vortexing as well, if you didn't go backwards, Dante, provides us with iframes. So as long as we're vortexing, we're actually invulnerable.
There's that camera for you.
So we get another Death Sentence fight here. Exactly the same as last time. We've got a double jump, Helm Breaker on his face. But now we have air hike here, makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to go off the scenery. do it anywhere we want to. Once we grab the orbs, vortex over to the end of the mission, grab the key item that we need, and we're out. You'll notice I'm getting a lot of S ranks here, and that's because on Dante Must Die especially, the S rank barrier is a lot lower, because we fight a lot more enemies that we start further on in the run, which gives us a lot more orbs. You know, because I've missed out on a few orbs, we've got to fight Phantom here now. You see where these iframes come into play.
Oh, you're not gonna do the actual strat, just deflect.
So by vortexing in his face like such, we can kind of humiliate the poor guy. Now this mission is especially dangerous because every second in this mission our health is decreasing due to the key item we picked up. Being in Devil Trigger slows it slightly, but considering we have locked room fights and a phantom chasing us at one point, this can get real nasty.
These enemies, Frost, are pretty nasty too. They deal heavy damage and they're really tanky. It's a lot easier once you take out one of them.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, one will drop a green orb so we can get some health back. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. But it's fine because we're near the end of the mission anyway. So I'm just going to run and grab the safety one down here. Because we can still get clapped off guard.
Yeah. I have died to those shotgun marionettes in the next room. And it's kind of humiliating.
Yeah, the shotgun marionettes can be really aggressive when they want to be. Alright, and that is the end of mission 7. Now we're going to get into secret mission 5 that Yang was alluding to earlier. But first things first, I am going to save it again. Like I said, this is a very, even with the Super Dante costume, this can be a really interesting run in terms of danger. Now, pretty much everything can kill us in 1 or 2 hits. Especially those shotgun ones, because they work as a shotgun. The closer we are to them when we fire, the more damage that we're going to take. Secret mission 5, we're going to get into a fight with 2 Cyclopses here. One of them's already clapped, so it's great. We have to get them to kill each other by standing in between them and letting them hit each other with the rock kind of shotgun blast that they've given each other. Really good start actually. So by enemy stepping off their heads while they're kind of like in between each other like such, it's probably your best option. Now I didn't buy air raid, so I can't fly when they start firing, which makes it a little bit easier for me to dodge it, but it's not too much trouble. Says, oh Jesus, this is bad. So we're just going to pop that vital star here. Now because we're not in a mission, using items do not actually affect any kind of rankings. But we can be here for a little while if they're not very cooperative. Or if one of them phases out and gets stuck behind that gate, which has happened to a few of us.
And if they jump and land on you, it actually does just bring you down to 1 HP. So that's the worst thing that you have to avoid.
Yeah, we're already roughly about that point already. And they just like to kind of wander off on their own, so like a lost little puppy sometimes. But if we attack them in any way, we will lose the secret mission, which is why I won't be vortexing, because if I accidentally hit one of them, we automatically fail. So even though I would have the iframes, if we would get attacked, it would count as an attack on them, and we would be disqualified. It's in a sense disqualified from completing the mission.
And it is fairly important to stay like in a corner, because otherwise the camera will just start shifting around, and you'll lose all sense of where you are and where they are. This is probably one.
That's unfortunate, but we basically spawned straight outside the room so we can try it again straight away.
Yeah. with a DMD run, I never really consider it to be like having gotten started until after Secret Mission 5, no matter how well it goes to that point.
There are several hurdles. This is probably your main one.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest, and it's the last one in the early game.
Yeah, like so. That's not good. Died twice. This is also why we picked up that extra yellow orb, because you never know when it comes in handy. Can be really tricky to get this here. This is probably where the biggest time will kind of waste into it. If you don't play nice, or they're just more concentrating on trying to hit you rather than each other with other attacks, then we can be in a bit of a pickle. And the hitboxes on these are ginormous as well, as you can probably tell.
And as far as we can tell, there's literally just nothing you can do to really do this consistently or fast, though. It's a big RNG fest. And it can be so frustrating to just like lose 2 minutes here when it goes really slow.
Seriously? Come on, man.
Dang.
This is exactly what you don't want to be happening.
You got it then.
The thing with this secret mission as well is because we're trying to control both of them. If one of them wants to do the attack more than the other, then you kind of can't focus on one or the other to get killed. It's literally just random. That jumping attack is stressful.
Going pretty well this time.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that just yet, just in case. But we seem to be okay.
Gotta be close by now.
Yeah, these guys get double hit. There we go. Just a good mission. I'm going to kill the other one just to be on the safe side. So, yeah, that secret mission really is brutal, but thankfully it's the last kind of hard secret mission that we have to go through. The rest are kind of pretty simple, really.
Yeah.
All the way back to where we started this mission.
Oh.
And we're going to get into the final fight with Phantom. Technically Phantom 3, even though we've only fought him once. Most of the bosses here we fight 3 times. It's because he can appear in the hallway there. It's kind of classed as his second fight. I'm going to buy Stinger level 2 and Air Raid for later on. I'm going to grab some orbs here as well. It's going to look a little bit kind of weird for a speedrun, but grabbing those orbs and then a couple others later down the line, as long as we know damage Phantom, which we usually can do, we'll get a special bonus pretty easily on this one. So we'll get it here. So we've got a bit of extra leeway with our economy for buying stuff if we absolutely have to. But the exact same thing applies. We're going to hit his weak spot. A little bit easier because we've got air height now, so we can double jump pretty much anywhere.
And a reminder that double jumping gives you like an insane bonus on your helm breaker damage, which is why that's so important.
And if he ever turns around like that, you can just stinger him straight in the face and he'll stun. There we go. Pretty decent fight, no damage as well, which is good, which means we can get the special bonus on this mission pretty easily. Grabbing a blue orb fragment over here, that's the third out of 4 that we've got so far. Jump onto the little Steve here, grab some orb cache. And there's an orb cache over in the corner as well. I'm just going to grab. And then we're going to go down here. Now we're going to grab another gun here in a second called the grenade gun, which is our favourite and most powerful gun in the game. You know what Capcom are like with rocket launchers and grenade launchers and such. It's going to come in mighty handy, especially with our infinite devil trigger. Grab another orb fragment there, that's 4 out of 4, gives us a little bit more HP. You might recognise this area from the start of the game. We've come full circle now and we're going to be actually exiting the castle. So by killing that fetish there gives us the extra orbs that we need for the special bonus. There's another blue orb fragment hiding across the side. And that is mission 8. Again, we don't have to buy anything here, so we're just going to straight into mission 9.
And all these orbs that he's saving up are going to come important after this mission.
Yep, we're going to get a new weapon here called Ifrit, which are some fire gauntlets. And we need enough red orbs so we can buy 2 moves especially, but technically we're going to buy 4 of them. Vortexing in such a way here you can move this quite easily out the way. Kill the blades here, because this again is a locked room fight. You can tell that by the timer that appears. Basically that timer tells us when we're going to devil trigger, but we have to kill all 3 of them before we can actually leave this area. And then once they're down, we can just safely vortex out of here, and we're going to go grab Ifrit. If you played this, you know we normally hit a switch a few times to get these platforms in such a way so you can jump up them, but by using air hike and air raid, we can get it pretty quickly that way.
Yeah, platforming in Devil May Cry is not very good, so you want to skip all that you can.
Welcome to Griffin 1. We don't fight him. We punch this door and we go through it. We don't like that fight. We don't do it.
We don't like any of the Griffin fights.
Yeah, Griffin fights in this is something. But we also grab our first holy water now as well. Holy water in Dante really isn't prevalent other than for a couple of secret missions where we have to fight multiple shadows again. We pick up a few on the run, like I said. We don't buy them because I think, if I remember correctly, they're
4,100. They're 4,100, I think.
4,100 for holy waters here, whereas in normal mode they're only 700. So we don't tend to buy anything item-wise here. I want to kill this fetish, but the auto lock on won't let me.
Oh, come on.
There we go. We're out of it. So basically just a steamroll to the end of the mission here. Once you've got Ifrit, we don't really have to do much else. And we are on our way. Welcome to the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. This is mission 10. Well, kind of halfway. There was 23 missions in this one for some reason. Whereas in every other game, apart from Devil May Cry 2, there is 20.
So how many yellow orbs did you have left after that secret mission?
I've got 1. Well, it should be fine. This is more of a puzzle kind of one. Wait for that to go into the fetish there and push him across the threshold, which lets us just carry on. 3 blades here, jump out that way to avoid some damage, and again we've got to kill these guys out. Killing these will spawn another wave, so we're keeping it all kind of tight together. Use the grenade gun like such, and then kind of get the light out, grab a few orbs whilst we've got the chance. And then we vortex seconds, all the way out. Once those 3 are down, the light won't go into them again. And we're going to fight 2 more shadows here. I'm going to switch to my pistols, so that's the only way to crit these on the skewer. Now hopefully if this goes well, never mind. We can critical hit the shadow and get him to kind of follow us to the end of the area here. Now by doing that, the light's AI will basically say that it's closer to the exit than it is to the other shadow, which will cause it to automatically go to the end of the area rather than into the other shadow if it's close by.
Very well done.
Straight all the way over here. Grab another holy water.
And then we actually
for later on.
And then we actually do get to fight these Cyclops
properly. So we're using something called air raid here, so I've jumped up as high as I can, which means most of the time we're going to be safe from any kind of projectiles they're going to throw at us. And if they do jump up at us like such, their hitbox actually stays active, so we can get a lot more hits in them rather than if they were on the ground. Kill them both, opens the door, and that's the end of mission 10. Now I'm going to buy 2 moves here for Ifrit. One is Kick 13 and the other is Inferno. That's going to come into play in the next boss fight. But first things first, secret mission time. Straight back out the door we came in on. We're going to jump off these Sin Scissors, grab a blue orb fragment real quick like. Devil Trigger, take a few out on the way out, and finish that secret mission pretty quickly.
Easiest one in the game.
Another blue orb fragment over here, grab that, now it gives us the 4 for the new blue orb. We've literally got now a full bar of HP. You can get 2 complete full ones in DMC1. The next blue orb, the full blue orb that we get will give us basically a full bar and a little bit. You can use Inferno here on these blades, but I prefer to use Vortex because of the iframes. By killing all of the blades down here, not only do you get a load of orbs, but you have to do that to grab a blue orb that's hidden in this area. So by vortexes like that, you grab you've got a lot of iframes there. Got a lot of leeway with it.
It can get really cheesy in Super Dante that just vortex to protect yourself on anything.
It's not all just good for moving. Okay. Oh, that was close. Alright, so here we're going to get into Nello Angelo 2. Again, I'm going to kind of concentrate for this one. It can be quite tough, but Yang, if you want to take the reins.
Well, because you're doing the actual any percent strat, right?
Yes.
I actually do not know the any percent cycle.
Alright, so I'll kind of do it and then I'll probably explain it after that.
I know it is very janky and complicated to look at. But it is a precise cycle. And I know it's important to manipulate which direction he faces. Because you want to keep him within a certain bounds. Otherwise the loop breaks.
Like he kind of has.
And you have to be really careful with Nello because he in particular will chew through your health.
Yeah, Nello will. He has a really bad habit of stun locking you, so you're gonna have a really bad time if you're not careful. But basically, the loop there is we hit him with a grenade straight away just to get a bit of extra damage. Then we hit him with the Inferno, which stuns him. Hit him with a Kick 13, which stuns him further. And then whilst he's stunned, we can hit him with a grenade, charge punch to block his guard, and then basically repeat that in such a way. By jumping away from him, he always kind of has to go. Well, we try and manipulate him so he always kind of does the meteor attack where he tries to fire a meteor at us. by which case we can just repeat the loop over and over again. But unfortunately I lost it a little bit there, but nothing too much to worry about. It was still a pretty clean fight, even though we took a little bit of damage. A few frosts in the ghost ship part here. Again, a lot room fight with a devil trigger timer. Grab the needle gun because we need that for the next mission. And then we're going to go up, fight another death scythe, which can be pretty simple. Again, double jumps with the helm breakers in such a specific spot. Yeah. I always get it off by like a frame, so I end up on the platform up top.
As long as you get the loop going, these are pretty easy to deal with, but when they just hover around and you can't ever hit them, they're just a pest.
Again, another enemy that's designed to run away from you.
Strange how many of those there are.
I think there's 6 in this run, if we count the one in the secret mission.
And then we're gonna go all the way to the prow of the prow of the ship.
For an extra blue orb fragment. Now you have to jump off of the edge of the crow's nest there, otherwise the blue orb fragment won't appear. And we're gonna get into Griffin 2. My favourite fight, said nobody ever. Now, thankfully, shout out to Waifu, who recently did a video on manipulating Griffin Guard AI here. It's coming real handy. So we dodged this a couple of times. Take it out, hit Griffin a few times, and we stand next to this little lantern here. That's going to force him to jump down on the under a specific attack. We're going to jump all the way up to the top where we're safe. And this is where Ebony and Ivory really coming good. If you're fast enough, you can melt Griffin's health bar to about half.
Yeah, this should be a 2 cycle normally. If you get up fast enough.
Okay.
Oh. Oh. That's not good. You normally don't want to land on him, because that breaks the loop. Oh, he landed on pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes he can be a little bit janky. So literally, same with Nello is we get him in a loop where we're safe as much as we can be, and jobs are good. Grab all these orbs from the boss fight, and we've got to be careful not to get hit here, because even though he's running away, he still fires lightning at us, and that can still hurt quite a bit. But it's a fairly simple boss fight once you get the loop down like such. And I say shout out to Waifu because he really helped out with a quick tutorial on how to manipulate his AI. I was having so much trouble with that fight. Up until recently. He just would not loop. He would not loop.
Yeah. It takes a while. Eventually you get him.
Yeah. Welcome to mission 13. The easiest S-rank mission. You kill 2 blades and you run for the exit. And that's an S-rank. That's an extra 1500 orbs for literally killing 2 enemies and getting out without a scratch.
Nice 35-second mission.
But hold on, there's more in this ghost ship. We're going to go back inside. There are 2 blue orb fragments in this ship. Now the reason we get them here and not anywhere else is because if I took damage on that last mission, I wouldn't get an S rank. And also, this is an intermission between missions, so the in-game time is not actually going at any point. We used to do this a lot with grabbing certain items and doing this secret mission, but if we absolutely have to use items such as a gold orb or a vital star, things like that, we're not going to get penalised as we would do inside a normal mission. So by going back to the captain and examining it, that triggers another secret mission. We've got 8 blades underwater that we just need to kill as fast as possible.
It's one of the most convoluted secret missions to find. So it's kind of boggling how hard to find some of them are.
strategy for this one literally is kind of like, you're going to back up on yourself, fire. By getting it in such a way, the blades normally move in a pattern. If you move in a pattern yourself, in which case they'll all kind of be together. The automatic lock-on's going to keep switching between some of them whilst you're moving. So you're going to get damage on pretty much every single blade, and then when there's only like one or two left like there is here, they're usually already half dead by the time you get rounds of actually killing them off like such.
That was, no joke, probably the fastest I've ever seen that done.
Yeah, I think that was actually quite fast. Fun fact as well, in the current top time, the first time, there's already a 1.5-minute time save, because Muggins here accidentally goes to a completely different statue to buy an item, which he actually didn't need to do. So you can take this one if you want it, Yank.
Well, you know, if you go to the wrong statue again, I'll just not tell you. It's a good game. Slick will enjoy watching that later.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry.
going straight out of the intermission into the next mission here. This is literally a run and gun mission, basically from start to finish. I'm going to re-equip my grenade gun. We don't need to bother with these scissors. I'm going to vortex all the way through to the end of this little area to activate a switch and pick up another key item called the Emblem Shield. Do what I did last time and deactivate my DC instead of leaving it on, because I always forget which cutscene to turn it off and which to leave it on. There's also an extra blue ore fragment hidden up the top here. I'm going to grab that real quick. Now, again, you wouldn't normally do this in a normal run, or possibly even a DanSpence94 run, but for safety, I'm grabbing the extra holy water here in the fountain, just for a bit later in the run, and just as an emergency, kind of like crowd clearer if it actually came to that. Another blue ore fragment on the pillar there.
Because you normally do holy waters for the final phase of Nightmare 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you need extra for this. Gotcha.
Another death side there. Gets taken off care of pretty easily. You get quite a lot of orbs from him, so we just grab them whilst we can. As we need to use 500 for these 2 doors to get through. But once we do this, it's the end of this mission. Seal the door, and then we're back to where we would have fought Griffin 1, but we didn't have to. I'm going to buy a move called Meteor 2.
Yes, please do.
And Rolling Blaze. That's going to come apparent in the next boss fight we've got. But first things first, we're going to go back on ourselves again. You're loving this backtracking, aren't you? Like I said, Resident Evil eat your heart out. It was going to be that. Can you imagine what this game would have been like had it been a Resident Evil title? I dread to think what we would have got instead of Resident Evil 4 and Devil May Cry 1.
Well, at least we got 2 really good games out of it.
Exactly.
This is a very long mission, though. You have a really long backtrack to a secret mission, and then a big boss fight.
And if you're like me, a really big backtrack to that Divinity statue there as well. That you absolutely don't need to do, because you could have just bought the moves like I did at the start of the mission. But, again, we're going to fight 3 shadows here, in a really enclosed space. I'm going to teach you how you do this real quickly. First, you're going to take damage, why not? You can actually dodge that, just unfortunately, sometimes you're going to get clipped. And we're going to deploy 2 holy waters. That's going to kill all 3 shadows. We don't have to worry about it.
You only see that one there, but the other 2 are back in the spiky bit. And normally you would have to kill the one right in front of you and then go fight the others back on the spiky bit. And it's a big pain in the butt.
Whereas we found a couple of months ago, we just deploy 2 holy waters on any difficulty, and it's a pretty simple secret mission to finish out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to re-backtrack back to where we actually started this mission. And we're going to grab some extra holy waters because of the ones we've just used. There's one on top of the entrance. And there's one where we're going to grab another blue ore fragment shortly. By using the emblem shield that we picked up in the last mission, we can unlock these 2 doors. The stuff that we want behind both of them. So we come to this one first because it's the harder one of the 2. When we come to get the key item, there's also that holy water here that we're going to grab, plus a blue ore fragment. I'm going to kill these fetishes here just to grab some orbs from them. Kind of there, and why not? We're going to go to the opposite side, to the red door. Where we're going to get another blue ore fragment, but also the key item for this mission, which we need to progress. So in this room here, if we would have gone in on the blue side, we would have had to fight a death side, whilst also traversing this room full of spikes and all sorts of goodies. But if you go on the red side, there are 2 shadows down below, but we can basically kind of ignore them.
Probably get clipped once or twice, but
have to double jump from below, which is really strange, to get the blue ore fragment to appear and jump across the top and grab it. I really don't know how or why that was programmed in that way, but it just kind of is. There's a few like that where you specifically have to double jump up to something and touch something to get it to appear. And then it's a quick vortex out straight away.
are you going to save before Griffin 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also going to grab that yellow there as well. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, marathon look, we are being very cautious. Especially with Griffin 3. Griffin 3 can either go really well or really wrong. There's kind of no in between here. But first things first, before we even trigger the fight, we have to come up here, otherwise we're locked out of grabbing this blue ore fragment. So we grab that, we're going to go down, deactivate devil trigger so we can swap to Ifrit. I'm going to do what Yang says and save as a safety. Nearly reset then, it's close. We're going to use the new move that I bought, Meteor level 2. Fire Meteors at Griffin. It's going to decimate his health bar in the first phase. He's programmed to only take specific amounts of damage in both phases. So we can kind of get him down to probably just a little bit more than half HP in the first phase here, and then quickly fall down, that's it. And yeah, again, we're just going to kind of loop around in here.
The great thing about Meteor is the way it passes through him is there's a good chance that it will double hit him and his 2 hitboxes. So you can get really insane damage from it.
By rolling and jumping with our grenade gun like this, we can maximise damage as well as stay out of harm's way. And even though we're waiting on the recovery animation from the grenade, you can always charge a meteor whilst we're waiting. So this is his desperation attack, which is going to fire a load of lightning at us, so we're just going to time our shots a little bit better. Should hopefully come right. Yep, that's a finish off with a meteor. And that was Griffin 3. Now Griffin technically does die after that, so we won't be seeing him again. We're actually going to get introduced to our next new boss, which is Nightmare.
Which is why we bought Rolling Blaze. It's very useful against deflecting his attacks. That's a beautiful Griffin 3, though.
That was a really good Griffin 3, actually. Yeah, that was. I've probably never got that damage list, so that's a first, especially in a marathon. Also, fun fact: this is the very first time a new game Dante, regardless of Super Dante, Dante Must Die run has ever been completed in a marathon. The only other one that we could find was a new game plus run.
I mean, you haven't completed it yet, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've not finished it yet, but still. Yeah, again, another platforming one, because we love platforming in our action games. We jump all the way up the skulls, which makes it a little bit harder in Dante Must Die as well, because they'll track you, I've noticed. Instead of standing still, or sitting still, should I say, like they would do in normal mode, they actually come towards you when you start to try and jump on them, which can mess up your balance a little bit. But
you'd think it'd be easier when they come towards you, and you could jump off them, but it's really not. It's weird. And now we're backtracking to the castle, where we started the game.
Now it's night time and it's all spooky. A few blue orb fragments that are just kind of like chilling in this area for no reason. So we'll grab one on the way in. We'll take out this plasma.
It's a nice way to incentivize exploring, even though it's the same area.
Yeah. Because in the start of the game we already found 2 blue orb fragments in this area, so you're not really pushed to traverse and look for any others. I'll grab another fragment here. Now, depending on the RNG we get, I'm hoping it's fetishes. It is fetishes. So, yet again, a locked room fight. We need to kill as many fetishes as quickly as possible. I don't think there's an actual set number because we will just keep spawning in. But as soon as the timer kind of disappears like that, we know that we've killed enough. And they also drop a hell of a lot of orbs, so it's a really good spot for grinding, really, if you're up for that kind of thing. And we're going to fight Nightmare 1 here. Again, I'm going to be kind of quiet and let Yang do his thing.
Yeah, so Nightmare is just kind of a big puddle of goo. And there's these 4 light circles along the wall. He only can become vulnerable when those are lit up, and once you do light them up, they slowly tick down. But he will cycle through a certain set of attacks. He's actually like the most consistent and readable boss in the game. You know exactly what he's going to do. So he has a front and a back cycle that he goes back and forth between. And you kind of just, depending on which cycle he's on, you dodge or deflect his attack, and then he's vulnerable to be hit for a couple of hits. And what you see Dan doing here is doing fully charged Ifrit attacks, and that is because of a mechanic Nightmare has on his cores, where they can actually break open. And they start off whole and blue, and then they go to green, and then they go to red, depending on the number of hits that they take, not how much damage they receive. So, you know, fewer hits with the most amount of damage is the most theoretically efficient way to fight them. And as his cores break, they take less damage per hit, and also his attacks become more aggressive.
The good thing about that is it also stays out longer, so we can get a couple more hits in.
Yeah, that's actually part of the strat for, like, depending on how safe you want to play it, you can intentionally break one of his cores to make his animations longer, so you can hit him for more.
That was, Nightmare 1.
Very well.
Put our pistols back on, and we're going to backtrack yet again. I hope no one's getting tired of this backtracking, because there's a lot of it. We're going to get another secret mission, where we fight 3 shadows. 4, actually, in this one.
Yes.
But luckily, we can take them on one by one. That's what you do, I shoot both.
They really like making you... Oh, you did it. They really like making you fight multiple shadows. I watch a lot of casual runs on Twitch, honestly. One of my guilty pleasures. And a lot of people I just see getting wrecked by like a single shadow. So then to have to fight 3 is not as easy as man makes it look.
A lot of secret missions you fight 3 at once, this one you fight 4, but we don't have, at the max we have 2 at once, but by utilising the vortex like I said earlier, I can iframe myself basically from any damage whilst they're exploding. And once the core is exposed, in Devil Trigger, two stingers next to it will kill it off.
Normally. Sometimes it seems to take 3.
As for some reason, when Stinger actually hits an enemy, it hits it several times. You can hear that by the kind of flanking you can hear when you're hitting the cores. Okay, so he's red. Now we've already got 3 shadows worth of orbs here, so we don't actually need the 4th, so we can just run to the door here, and that will make him explode a little bit quicker. Also gives us opportunity to swap back to our grenade gun, as I don't think we need our pistols for the rest of the game now. I could be wrong.
I think we're good. Now we just run back to the nightmare fight room.
Back outside where we were earlier on in the game. Vortex all the way across without having to do any pesky platforming. Now the red orbs you saw when we was here the first time were small. Now if you leave them, they become massive at this point in the game. So we leave them to pick them up at this point, just so we can easily get the S rank there. Start of this mission, you go straight back through the port you came in on, and as soon as you vortex all the way over to the other side, you're going to get to another secret mission called Blue Orb in the Sky. Basically, you just want to grab the blue orb in the air, which you can do by vortexing over after a couple of little jumps like such. Grab it, and then get out of it. But there is a death side chasing you whilst you're trying to do this. In normal mode, we would try and kill it before our Devil Trigger runs out, but with Super Dante we can just go automatically straight out to the exit and not have to worry too much about it. Just grabbing a few fetishes in there for the extra orbs. It's quite an easy spot to grab some orbs there.
We'll have a couple more frosts. Are a lot easier to deal with now that we have a prayer.
What's interesting to note is that some moves whilst inside Devil Trigger are completely different to outside. So for instance, Kick 13 is like a little combo with Ifrit there, but outside of Devil Trigger it's just a roundhouse kick, which makes Super Dante completely OP against certain bosses here that are kind of susceptible to that move.
Here's a nice little puzzle. The dragon, quote unquote. You have to slash his fireballs back at his face 3 times.
Funny you should say about watching casual playthroughs. I've popped my head in sometimes and I've seen someone really stuck on this puzzle before. It's kind of heartwarming how reminiscent how we used to be.
Yeah. And there is a tablet that basically tells you what to do, but you have to, you know, actually think to, you know, see that it's examinable.
Yeah. This game really, it doesn't handhold you.
Yeah, it tells you nothing.
Even more so with Devil May Cry 2. That game tells you literally nothing.
head into our final Nalo 3 fight.
Always gotta be safe, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know. Nalo 3 is basically the same as Nalo 2, except he's a lot more aggressive.
And he's more handsome.
And for some reason, I don't know if it's just Nalo 3, but it doesn't get knocked back as easily as Nalo 1 or 2.
Say this is probably the last spot where you might end up dying in the run. Unless things go really bad with Nightmare 3.
This is definitely the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion.
There we go, get those Nalo boots. Or not.
Kinda got it. Sure to kill him if I'm correct. There we go. I am definitely saving after that, because I only have one yellow orb left and I don't want to chance nothing. So that was Nalo 3. If you notice there, his helmet came off. It kind of looks a little bit familiar, especially if you've played other Devil May Cry games. I won't exactly say who it is. You know, spoilers and whatnot for a 20-year-old game. But if you've played the other Devil May Cry games, you know exactly who that is. So we've got a nice little underwater section again. Shoot a barrel over in the corner, grab a blue orb fragment from it. That will always track to you, so you don't actually have to go inside. Fight some sin scissors here.
Everyone's favorite parts, the underwater parts.
So we take 3 sin scissors out pretty easily, and then we're going to get into another boss fight shortly. I'm going to grab a few things first though. I'm going to flood the area so we can actually get up to the top of this area here. By touching this little platform here, you get yourself another blue orb fragment. Now this can be really tricky because you are on a timer as soon as that switch is hit, and sometimes we can't make it all the way back up to the where we actually have to be there, so it can be a bit, dicey. Yeah, I jumped off accidentally right at the edge, so it just
that can't happen.
Kind of come back on myself, which isn't too much of a loss. If we would have fallen all the way down, it would have been, because we would have had to activate the switch again and wait for it to deactivate, like I just done. But luckily, once we've got the Philosopher's Egg, then we can just kind of go through the door regardless if it's flooded or not. Thankfully. Coming over here, going to get into another doorway with another blue orb fragment hidden behind it. A couple of red orbs that we could have just to be on the safe side. And we're going to get into our Nightmare 2 fight. Exactly the same strategy as the first time. In terms of the cracking specific chords and whatnot.
No, one attack that we didn't get into was his ability to swallow heal, like down into a little void. And if he does that attack, you have to fight a previous boss. And in this case, you would have to fight Griffin again. So that's a really important thing that you want to avoid. Although there is some tactical use in it. depending on how the fights go. But I'm pretty sure you're not going to get swallowed, so hopefully you're not.
I did Inferno by accident.
Oh no. That ice beam, if you get stun locked on that, you just die. Nothing you can do.
The interesting thing about Nightmare is over his free fight, whatever damage the core has taken, it tracks. So if the top core is red now, which it is, it will be, I think it will be green on the next fight. And if you get both cores in red, it's really bad.
It'll be red in the next fight, right?
I believe it's always the one before.
I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
I could be wrong there. I do usually get mixed up on this fight, to be honest.
I know there's been a lot of labbing on this fight lately. I haven't really kept up to date with that. I've been quite busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of attacks going into these fights as of late, especially for Dante Must Die.
Waifu, who is another runner, he's been putting a lot of work into finding Nightmare and Griffin strats lately. At this point, he'll probably take the record if he ever actually runs this category.
Yeah, if he actually wants to put the big boy category on. This coming from the guy who can only do this as Super Dante, mind. But it's cool, it's cool.
I mean, Super Dante is the start to running as normal Dante.
That is very true. If you're ever having trouble learning a speedrun, learn it with Super Dante and then learn the other Devil Trigger management strategies after the fact. Once you learn the routing and what you need to be doing on certain bosses, then you can kind of like reverse engineer the run. So last two blue orb fragments here. We'll grab this one here, which triggers the other one to fall down. You have to get that one first and then come and get this one, because otherwise this one doesn't spawn, which is kind of strange. And then by picking this item up here, we're going to spawn some nobodies. Inferno pretty much takes me down without much of a fight. So this is also one of the easiest special bonuses to get as well. We don't normally get it, but I'm just going to get it just so I've got the extra orbs to be safe. By killing the 3 nobodies here without items, no damage, and grabbing all of their orbs, as well as a couple of orbs as we come out of this area, it will net you the special bonus. Now, we mentioned it before, basically a special bonus is you go above and beyond the requirements for an S rank. You ranked up to 5 points for everything. Items, orbs, time, damage, and if you do secret missions or not. Now, that's why we always seem to be getting an S rank even though we're taking damage. It's because 9 times out of 10 we've completed a secret mission there, which kind of skews the ranking system a little bit. But the more secret missions that you do, the higher it's going to be to get an S rank or a special bonus at the end of it. So coming up on the last few missions here, this is mission 20. It's the showdown with Nightmare. It's literally just a Nightmare fight for the entire mission. So by vortexing straight away there, we can get through that area pretty quickly. Again, strategy is exactly the same. We're going to focus on one core and then switch to the other. Now, as Jan said before, the top core is red because we've built it twice already. But the back core is going to be in a good position for us to continue this fight properly.
And those cores, when they are red, take so much less damage.
I think it drops our damage down to like 30%. And they're already beefed up with being on Dante and style to begin with. But this is also the reason why I got the extra Holy Waters, because at the end of this fight, Nightmare's going to go a little bit crazy, and we're going to use Holy Waters to finish the fight off. Back cycle, that's what we want. And then once we're getting down to a certain amount of HP, we're going to get into a cutscene where Trish, who we've not seen the entirety of the run to be fair, is going to betray us and start shooting lightning at us, but it's inconsequential really. Yep, it should be, which means we're getting a back cycle to finish off with, which is what we wanted. Getting a back cycle, because we can parry his little kind of dagger attack, gives us a bit more free reign on the damage we can output, especially because that this port is still blue and not green or red. So once we do that, he's going to get a little bit more health back. So we bang 2 Holy Waters usually, and that will take him out. That does drop us down to an A rank, so we couldn't use that on, say, a 100% run. Because we need to have S ranks on every mission for 100%. Now we're getting into the final stretch here. This is our final secret mission, it's secret mission 12. We're going to have to find something called the Bangle of Time, but to get to it, we're going to have to fight some nobodies. Grab a full blue orb here instead of a fragment like we have been getting out of secret missions. It's the one and only secret mission that has a full blue orb in it. And then once we get the Bangle of Time in this mission, that's basically it for the secret mission. And then we can carry on with mission 21, which is the penultimate mission before the final boss fight with Mundus. Which hopefully, I'm praying, will be a bit of a cakewalk with Super Dante, but you never know. It can still go wrong, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, you should have it. I'll laugh at you if you die.
Everyone.
No pressure.
This is also a relatively free special bonus here as well. By getting a few orbs from nobody, we can and no damage, we can pretty much get a special bonus guaranteed. Now here, we're going to use the automatic block on, which has been a hindrance our run, to actually work to our advantage here by vortexing straight through the dinosaur's head there, all the way up to the top of the area to grab the Bangle of Time that we came in for, and jobs are good, and that is what we call the Cosmo Climb.
And that's a big one, because normally you would have to fight that dragon, and then after that some frost spawn and you have to fight them. So doing that just saves like 3 minutes, 2.5.
We utilize it again at the end of this mission, but it's a little bit easier. He says, and it's probably going to fail it.
Yeah, this one's a lot less free. The one in that dragon room is like perfectly consistent when you learn where to stand. But the next one is going to be on moving enemies, so it's a lot harder.
And if the enemies want to move straight away, that basically messes up our entire line that we want to take with the vortex up. Now, when nobody's actually blowing up like that, you can actually get damaged by them, which is why I was vortexing there, because I don't want to lose out on that no damage bonus that we've currently got so far. Alright, if you've got the emo, throw it in chat. We're going to monk a steer right now.
Time to climb.
Time to steer. A bit shoddy, but we kind of made it. Yeah, we made it. Now you can vortex all the way up there. It was a little bit scuffed, but
Yeah. Like the little half climbs are pretty common. It's really satisfying when you do go all the way up. Oh.
Yeah. Tell you what, Maxie's on his latest, well, when he had the record, was huge. It was just straight there, no messing about.
Yeah. I think I can do that consistently as long as the one on the right attacks and stays still. But if it moves, then it's just I don't know, it's kind of random,
isn't it? So, welcome to mission 22, the penultimate mission here. We're going to fight Mundus and absolutely disrespect him straight away. You would have noticed the 20k orbs that I actually had on me. I just bought out all of the purple orbs that we can buy there. It gives me a 10 stock Devil Trigger. In this mission alone, it becomes kind of like a rail shooter section now with Super Dante. Because our Devil Trigger is just going to keep refilling and refilling, we can just fire off dragons. This is Puff the Magic Dragon, by the way. Shout out to the Puff. Canonical name, thanks Gamia. I'm just going to fire dragons at his face until he's dead, really. And then we're going to get into phase 2 of the fight, which has got a little bit more tactics into it.
And the damage the dragon does is like directly related to how many DP runes you have, which is why Dan bought 10 runes, even though he already has technically infinite. Now this is the actual hard part.
Well, I mean, it would be hard.
Well,
if I couldn't make myself invincible.
But you wouldn't do that.
Oh, but I would. And I'm going to do it 3 times. So all those untouchables that we've been picking up throughout the run is all for this fight. I thought I was going to get that glitch then. There is a glitch that we've seen where Mundus lunges like that and then just kind of disappears.
Yeah, I thought he was going to cancel out your untouchable use. Because if you were using a holy water and he does that, it cancels out your holy water.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That was lucky then. Come back. So we managed to get away with just using 2 untouchables there.
Yeah.
I have the 3rd one for emergencies. I think I did quite a lot of damage before I used the 1st one, which you can kind of do in Devil Trigger there, but sometimes he gets a little bit too aggressive right at the start of the fight, so he starts smashing the platforms before we have a chance to do that much damage, essentially. This is the final mission now, final stretch.
The typical Capcom escape mission.
Yeah. Capcom escape gives us 6 minutes to get out of it, or 5 minutes to get out of it, and we only need about 3. We have to fight this cross here because this turned into a lock room fight on the Dante must die. Normally that would have taken him out, but he wanted to play silly beggars there, so we're moving, we're vibing. We've got every single blue orb fragment, we've completed every single secret mission, and we are basically getting out of dodge right now. The whole place is collapsing, and it's time to go. So it's chucking out time at the bar. Well, not before one last lock room fight with a shadow. Of course, I run into his fight because why not? But this is also why we keep at least 1 holy water. Because using a holy water will instantly reveal a core. Hit it with 2 stingers. That's that shadow down for the count, and then we can vortex to the end of the doorway. He'll kill himself off, and then we're getting into the final phase with Mundus. Time will be coming up shortly as well for those in the background. I'll give you a shout when that is. It's basically when we skip the last cutscene, but I'll count it down when we get there.
Yeah.
And this phase with Mundus, we just use Vortex the entire way through. Like I say, those iframes with Vortex really come into handy. frustrating line here is, you know, you don't have to keep pressing the button, you just kind of have to hold it down. I'm probably going to get a skip there with this animation. You can get an animation skip there where it kind of roars at you, but I didn't get it that time around. And this is the finale now, the biplane escape.
The one final Capcom escape mission. Get out.
Regardless of what HP you have here as well, you will get a full HP bar. Presumably because it's the biplane, HP and your own. Time will be coming up in just a second.
It's like officially when he skips the cutscene at the end of this.
And it will be time. That's it. We out here. We get a very solemn music tune at the end of all that. And that was Dante Must Die, all collectibles with the Super Dante costume. With 4 deaths as well, which is interesting.
And still sub 130.
Yeah. I mean, what was the final RTA on that?
It's still ticking, but 129.50.
That decent. I mean, it's only 5 minutes slower than my PB, but I attribute that to all the deaths with Clyclops, to be fair. But yeah, that was that run. That was insane in some parts.
Well, good job, Dan. The first Dante Must Die marathon run. New game.
Yeah, the first completed new game Dante Must Die marathon. Even if it is Super Dante, we don't care. It's the first one.
So, regular Dante when?
Soon. When I can work it out. But yeah, thanks for having us, and also shout out to Plywood for asking me to do this as well, man. I woke up with a random notification to say, oh yeah, you know, Devil May Cry is 20 years old this year. Do you want to run for this marathon? I was like, yep, cool. But yeah, thanks for having us as well, and shout out to all the Devil May Cry speedrunning community, especially Yang as well for coming out and helping me out here today. All the other guys are kind of doing a Devil May Cry 3 tournament right now, so
yeah, I wonder how that's going.
really appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for showing off Devil May Cry. So coming up next, we are going to go into a small intermission, and I seem to have lost my schedule here. Okay, so coming up next will be the blindfold race between Apache Smash and the Lightning Strikes. Hope you guys will stay tuned for that one, and this will be my final thing to host, so I will see you all later on in the marathon. Everyone, please enjoy, and please keep on watching. See you next time.